Hello and welcome. My name is Rashi Mogha and I'm your host for this Empowered Women of the World podcast. This podcast is for you. It is for me and it is for all women who want to take charge of their career and happiness. In this weekly podcast, we will talk about technology, we'll talk about leadership, and we will talk about mindfulness. We will talk about how you can discover, visualize, and actualize your success, whatever that means to you. We will also talk about our common opponent, the conscious and unconscious bias which we deal with on daily basis. And we'll share ways to navigate work politics. At the end of each podcast, I will share with you a tip or a resource that you can use to be successful. It's going to be a fun ride, so hop on and join me on this journey every week. Today, we will talk about how to plan for re-entering the workforce after a break. Whether the break is planned or unplanned, returning to workforce isn't easy. It can be disheartening when you keep applying for jobs with no responses from the recruiters. Since last few months, I have been coaching a couple of women leaders who are ready to go back to work after a break. And many of you have asked for tips on how to plan to return to work. So here are some tips for you. Tip number 1. If it's a planned break, let everyone in your network know that you're planning to get back to work after a few months, and you'll be counting on their support when the time comes. Now, you do this before or right after you take a break. When you do that, you basically set that intention and it alerts your network that you'll be available for an opportunity after your break. Now, in large organizations, planning for headcount starts months in advance. So if your network knows that you'll be available, chances are that people will account for that headcount for you and also consider you for those upcoming opportunities. Now, tip number 2 is to continue to be active on social media and continue to build your network. It is important that when you take a break, you still invest time in building your network. Share your thoughts on LinkedIn and Twitter, blog often. Essentially, what you want to do is you don't want people to forget you. You want them to know that you're looking forward to being back to work and are exploring opportunities. Tip 3 is learn new skills. Basically, stay current. When you take a break, you don't want to lose touch with the developments happening in your industry. Now, today's world is a world that changes at a very fast pace. So you want to stay current, you want to know what's going on in the industry so that when you are talking to people, it doesn't seem like you don't know what happened in last few months when you took a break. Plan your time such that you spend some time every day learning new skills. I essentially mention it to everybody that I meet that investing in yourself is the biggest gift that you can give yourself. So carve out time even when you are on the break to learn something new every day. Tip number 4 is to start tapping your network about 2 to 3 months before your planned return to look for opportunities. You do your research, create a list of companies that you want to target as your potential employer based on your current needs, and then build your allies in these companies so that when the time comes, you really have a person who can actually help take your resume and hand it out to the hiring manager so that you have better chances of getting in front of the hiring managers. And tip number 5 is when you're interviewing with an employer, really don't focus on the break. Many people spend a lot of time explaining their prospective employers why they took a break, right? And that's not really that important. If you're asked about the break, use it as an opportunity to let the interviewers know how you leverage the break to learn new skills, follow your passion, or build a plan for your next career. And then tip number 6 is stay positive. It can be disheartening. So talk to people whom you can confide in, gather that strength, get that strength from your network, and continue going at it, because that's really important. Don't lose your confidence. Stay at it, continue building your network, continue investing in your skills, and just remind yourself of all the past successes that you have had. And I'm sure with these tips, you will soon find something that you would like and where you can thrive as a professional. I hope you find these tips helpful. And today's free resource for you is the Women Back to Work program details. It's a great program aimed at creating systemic pathways to facilitate the re-entry of women into workforce. The link is in the show notes below, so definitely take a look at it. There are many great companies like Cisco who are actually supporting the re-entry of women into workforce and are part of this program. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for loving, liking, supporting, and sharing the podcast. Remember, sharing is caring, and we get stronger by sharing the content. I love your feedback, emails, and messages, so please keep them coming. Our audience is growing exponentially each week, and we have lots of requests for lots of new topics, which is awesome. And I look forward to seeing you again in our next podcast, where I'll make a special announcement, so stay tuned. Till then, keep empowering the world.